to each of you that might be viewing at this time. And certainly we thank God for this another day that He has made and brought us into this day. We thank God for His strength, and we thank Him for closing us in our right mind to be able to share a word from the Lord to each of you that may be watching. Going to be as brief as we can, but of course, desiring your prayers that the Lord will speak a word uh, through His servant to His people. We want to talk with you today from the book of Jeremiah. We'd like for us to look at Jeremiah chapter 24. And our text for the message today going to be found in verses number 5 and verse number 8. I shall not read the entirety of either verse, but we're going to use a few words out of these two verses. In verse number 5, we find these words that thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel. He said, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them. Let me read it again. Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them. And in verse number 8, we find these words that says, and as the evil figs, which cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Surely thus saith the Lord, so will I give Zedekiah the king of Judah. Our text for our message today, if we were to use a thought or subject for our message today, we will talk with you from these words. We want to talk about two baskets of figs displayed before the church. Two baskets of figs displayed before the church. I like to begin my message today by saying that figs are most delicate. They are delicious. They're semi-sweet fruit. Uh, they're said to be packed uh, with a great source of fiber. Figs are truly among the oldest fruits that can be found in all parts of the land. It dates back as early as the days of old, even back to Genesis and chapter 3 and verse 7. In the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve made them aprons of fig leaf. So yes, we can see that figs have been around for a long time. They are said to have therapeutic properties for our bodies. I don't know about you today, but I find myself consuming some figs every opportunity that I get. And we see in the book of Jeremiah today that he is giving us a lesson on the two baskets of figs that he saw. Obviously, when he was in the temple of God one day performing his service, and the Lord showed unto him two batches of figs, and they were already separated, seemingly one from the other, because Jeremiah said in verse number 1 and a few of the following verses that the Lord showed me, and behold, there were two baskets of figs. They were set before the temple of the Lord. After that, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away captives Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah. Not only did he carry the king away to Babylon, but Jeremiah said that he also carried away the princes of Judah with the carpenters and the smith. He carried them from Jerusalem and brought them down into Babylon. Jeremiah goes on to talk about the figs. He said that one basket had some very good figs in it, even like the figs that are first ripe. And the second basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten, but they were so bad. Jeremiah goes on to tell us that then the Lord asked him a question. Said, Jeremiah, what dost thou see? And he said, Lord, I see figs. The good figs, they are very good figs. But the evil figs, they are very evil. They are so evil that they cannot be eaten. And again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying unto me, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them, the words of the text. So are these good figs, so will I acknowledge them. In verse 8, where it said, and the Lord said, these evil figs, he said, in essence, I will not acknowledge them because they are so naughty, they are so evil that they cannot be eaten. Now let's see what is the Lord going to do with these figs that are so evil that they cannot be eaten, that he can't use them because they are so evil. He said that I'm going to give them to Zedekiah, the king of Judah. And I'm going to give not only to Judah's king, but so will I give Zedekiah and his princes. I'm going to give the residue of Jerusalem that remain in this land. What the Lord is talking about here is that Nebuchadnezzar had already invaded Jerusalem, and he had carried that elite group down into Babylon, but there were the poor of the land. They left them there at Jerusalem. These are the remnants that Jeremiah talks about as being so evil, fig that they could not be eaten. He was talking about the residue that were left there at Jerusalem. But the Lord has said that he's going to give them to the king of Babylon. And he said that the residue he's going to give they that were left, they that were evil, they that had turned their backs on the Lord. Said he's going to give them to them, and they're going to become a reproach. They're going to become a proverb. He's going to just scatter them or disperse them throughout the nations of the world. He said in verse 10, I will send the sword, and I will send the famine and pestilence among them, till they be consumed from off of the land that I gave unto them and to their father. But then let us go and pick up those that was in the basket that was like of the first fruits of the vine. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me and said, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them. He talked about the one that they carried down away captive into Judah. In other words, they did not take them captive, but the Lord said, I sent them. I sent them into the land of Babylon for their own good. And if we look at verse number 6, for he said, I will set mine eyes upon them for good. And when the time is right, the Lord said, I will bring them again into the land. And I'm going to keep my eye on them because they have not, Lord, turned their backs on me. And when I bring them back, Lord, to the land that I promised them and the land that I promised to give to their father, Lord, I'm going to build them up. Yes, I will. And I'm not going to pull them down. Lord, I'm going to plant them, and I'm not going to pluck them up. And look at verse number 7, when he said, I'm going to give them hearts to know me. And in other words, I'm going to change their heart. I'm going to take out, Lord, their stony heart, and I'm going to give them hearts of flesh, and that I am going to be their God, and they are going to be my people. Oh, Lord, I will, Lord, return with them back to Jerusalem, and they are going to bring, Lord, their heart back to me. Am I right about it? So what we need to get out of Lord, Jeremiah's text here on the day is that there are, Lord, good figs before the house of the Lord, and there are evil figs also before the house of the Lord. Now I've got to make up in my mind whether I'm going to be in the basket with the good figs, or will I be in the basket with the evil fig? Well, now the evil figs are those that don't love the Lord. They are the one that Lord tell lies on the church, but the one Lord that are in the basket of the good Lord of figs, they are the righteous one. They are the one who got down on their knees sometimes late at a midnight hour and told the Lord, create in me, my Lord, a clean heart, and give me, Lord, a clean hand, that I can be pleasing in your sight. I'm reminded, Lord Jesus, telling a parable one day about a man that sowed seeds in his field. He sowed good seed, but sometimes during that night, the enemy came and sowed tares among the good seeds. And when they came up, Lord, the tares came up with the wheat, and the servant asked the Lord to let me, my master, go out and pull the tares out of the wheat. But the Lord said, no, let them all grow up together, because if you try to pull the tares out of the wheat, you're going to disturb the roots of the wheat. But let them all grow up together, and at the day of harvest, the Lord said, I will separate them. So that is the way it is before the temple of God that was in Jerusalem. There were the good and the bad. There are the evil and the righteous. God is going to separate the good from the bad, and He going to take the good home with Him, but He going to send the wicked down into a dark and an evil world where there will be gnashing of the teeth, where there will be crying, and where there will be moaning, and nobody will be able to hear and answer your cry. So let us make up our mind to be on the Lord's side. We want to hear Him saying, well done, thy good and thy faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Come on up a little higher, and I will make you ruler of many. Yes, we need to give our hearts to Jesus and be ready to go back with Him when He come. I gave my heart to Jesus. What about you? I remember when I was much younger, we had a quartet group that was known as the Golden Echoes, and I used to play guitar for them. And I remember sometime we would sing the old spiritual song that said, I gave my heart to Jesus. What about you? That I gave my heart to Jesus. What about you? Said, Lord, take me and use me. That's all that I can do. I gave my heart to Jesus. What about you? Oh, I gave my heart to Jesus. What about you? What about you? I gave my heart to Jesus. What about you? What about you? Oh, Lord, take me and use me. That's all that I can do. And I gave my heart to Jesus. What about you? What about you?